Happy Sunday, everyone, and happy day to you who are listening on the replay or on our podcast. We're so glad you've decided to spend some time with us. We like to bring you guests from all over the world, and we're an international show. We are from Canada and from the US, and we go across the world, and we have guests from across the world. But today we're a little closer to home. We've got our guest coming from Sedona, Arizona, and we'd like to welcome her. But before we do that, will you guys take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube or follow our podcast and like our show and just share it out, because share this good news, because we like to bring light into the world when it's smoky and dark and, there's all sorts of bad stuff going on. You can just turn on the news if you want to watch that. But if you want to change your day, change what you're listening to and listen to some positive stuff, come to the Spirit Sessions of View of the Light. So, Teresa, I'm going to put you on big so you can introduce our very special returning guest to us, one who really has a high vibe. Teresa, take it away today.
Okay, I'm so excited. I love when Lightstar comes on and just visits us. So to all of our Spirit Sessions family, I want you to know that how I found Lightstar was on YouTube, and I was looking for light language. I was trying to figure out what it was and what it meant. For some reason, I was getting a message about light language. So there she is, and she's not only just talking one, she's talking 21 different dialects. I mean, all the videos I keep watching, it's like, wow, and they're so personal. I don't think we're supposed to be sitting there trying to figure out the meaning or something, but when I listen to Lightstar, it's like I see a family member from the stars there, and it's like, oh, there's an auntie coming through or something. I feel the weirdest things. But that led me to her website, where she's got the most amazing artwork and the most amazing decks of cards, which is why I get them, because, the artwork, right? And many of you who've had readings with me know how much I use these decks, and so you'll be familiar with it when you talk to her. But here she is herself. Welcome, Lightstar.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to everyone here, the family. We like to call it Soul Family because we're all connected. And thank you so much for having me on again. I know I've been on a couple times, and I would have changed my background, but I wasn't able to change it. But so some of you guys might notice this is my magical kingdom behind me. But if you don't know it, it's what it is, and it's one of my art pieces. So I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm really excited to be here and just share and connect with everyone. So thank you.
So you've been doing so much work since the last time.
That's it. She's been a busy bee, you guys.
I have been a busy bee. I'm always trying to do what I can to bring what I can. And I'm always working, seems like. So, I have some new things I'm working on as well that maybe I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm currently working on if you guys are interested or want to know about that. Hold on, let me just do this because feels like my camera's not focusing, but is it okay? Am I in focus?
Yeah, we can see you good.
Weird, it looks all fuzzy, but anyway, so I'm doing a lot of stuff. I just feel like I branched out. I don't know if from the last time I came on here, if I was doing music or not, but I am creating music. So I have some new music that I started to really get into. My latest piece, which is the White Swan 555, and it's a solfeggio activation. And did I talk about that last time, or do you guys remember?
I can't remember.
I don't know if you remember.
I mean, I've seen it because I go to your page. So
yeah, this is it's a really, really powerful. It's like I played the flute in it. I created all the music tracks and the music behind it. And it's actually every single track and every single layer in the track of the music I created is actually attuned and aligned to the solfeggio frequency. And so it's really powerful. It has a lot in there. Like I said, I'm playing my own flute in there, which people sometimes don't know I play the flute. but I did it subtly. It's in the background, and it's really a powerful tool to, so that was one of my last things that I created for the world to activate. And it's just really powerful. And that's interesting, the way that I came about the name of that, because I went to bed before I finished it. Finally, it took forever, years of like working on this. And then I like went to bed and I said, what should this be called? What should I name this? And I had a dream with my mom. We were talking about some people that passed. My mom came into the dream and she gave me a gift of a white swan. Like, wow. She just presented this gift to me, and I was like, and I'm enamored with this white swan, this beautiful swan. And it was like, so I woke up in the morning and I went, that's the name. But I called it White Swan 555 because each track is 5 minutes, 55 seconds. And so it's a 555 activation. And
the white swan is the medicine animal that connects you to the magical realm, right?
Oh yeah. And I love that. I love the swan. I mean, it's not like I really like, I have swan stuff all over. No, it's just that. But when I got the name, and then I was like, swan energy is like this beautiful magical energy, and graceful, and beauty, and peace, and all these different things that we love about swans. So and I was just recently did a class with Indigo Angel and Pink Bella Aloha, and in there, and she was talking about, when we were talking about the white swan 555 and Indigo Angel, it's like, I wonder if that's connected to the Cygnus, constellation Cygnus, which also is swan energy. Right. And I was like, I hadn't actually thought of that too, but it's possible it could be related there as well. Signs that were coming in through from Cygnus, from my mom, or, from right. angels and the star friends and all of that. So, the way I get my names even is significant to all my images and all my art and my music. So yeah, it's been, it's quite the journey that I've unfolded, so many different avenues. And yeah.
And your t-shirts, tell them about how your t-shirts are.
Yeah, the t-shirts, I'm not wearing one, but like I actually have my frequency wear is what I call it. And it is, it's not like, I wanted to do all over shirts, and I still will probably look into that, but I had some trouble. I spent like 2 years with a company, and then towards the end of it, it just all fell apart. So I was like, well, that's not supposed to happen. So I shifted it and made it into direct to garment shirts that are just like, I took some of my pieces of my artwork out and put it together. And so it's front and back designs, but they have some of my codes and some of my art on it, with certain messages. Like one will be for the angelics, one will be for the starseeds, one will be for the elementals. We have the guardians. So like there's a message for each one of them. And then I have the warriors of truth, warriors of love, warriors of light t-shirt line. And they're 100% organic cotton, which is what I really like about it. And super sustainable, super soft, and very awesome. So that's something new I launched as well last year. Or maybe it would have been this year. I can't even remember, recently or most recent. And so, and then my Oracle cards, which obviously are like the big craze of an Oracle deck.
Well, yeah, it's like you can own art in your own home, right? Oh,
so excited. So beautiful. This is like such a, I mean, people knew, and yeah, she's got all of this stuff. And this is the new edition, the second edition, I should say, of the Magical Dimensions. That was the original. And then this is now, sorry, mirrored. It's over here. Second edition here. And this one is like, it's kind of redone with the box. I did do some changes on the box for those of you guys that are wondering. And I have a whole video on like, what are the differences between this one and the original one. But because like I still have the inside, the whole box changed. It's a magnetic instead of a ribbon pull. We have like this, which is awesome. That's my symbol that cleanses the deck, that helps you to cleanse the deck, which is really great. And then I also added a dragon symbol in the middle where you have that, because I like the dragon energy and the magical energy of this. So the box is really cool in and of itself. And you can actually, I made this so that, you know, when you take your cards go in here, but you can take the cards out, and then you can actually put your jewelry or your crystals or something you want to activate in here. So the box is useful too. I don't want to like waste this beautiful box, right? Because some people take their cards out, put them in a velvet bag, and that's great. But you don't have to use it for that. But then I'm like, well, if you are going to do that, then let's make this activation. So you can use this box for your jewelry and crystals, which is really a unique feature. So I love that. And then we redesigned the, for this one, it also comes with this, guidebook, which has full color, you guys. Like this is full color.
Yeah.
Most of you guys that know, nice, beautiful paper. It's like that gorgeous paper that I love because I made sure it wasn't on this cheesy paper, like it's really nice high gloss paper. And so it's got and I have added a couple of different spreads and a couple of different activator grids to the book. So there's more information in the guidebook and more of the, like these are some of the new, it's hard to do with this book because it opens this direction. But these are some of the new layouts.
So you have to describe them a little bit more for the podcast people.
Yeah, this is real. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. Some people can't see. So I had these cards can be used for regular oracle readings or activator grids. So they're kind of a double-edged, sword when it comes to utilizing them. But I do have, suggestions and guidelines for working with both of them and how to work with both of them. And I have suggestions in here. So when it comes to, when it comes to spreads, yeah, and I'm gonna Lisa. Hi, Lisa. She's awesome here. Can the second deck be used with the first? Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
And I think you meant
that.
I don't know. The second, I'll talk about the celestial frequencies in a minute, but they can both be blended together. Like both of the decks can be blended together, and that's what I recreated some of the face on the cards too. But you guys are familiar probably more with spreads, which are layouts that you can use for your oracle readings, right? And I had a few of them in here in the guidebook. And then I added a few more. So just so you guys know, there is the hidden key formation is what it's called. And it shows you, I just did a reading on my YouTube channel that used that hidden key formation. So some of you guys might want to check it out because I used that whole grid there to do a reading on my YouTube channel. And then we have the crossroads key formation. It's a little hard to describe it, so I'm just saying the name of it for you guys on the podcast. But it's really cool. But that can help you with if you're trying to figure out which way should I go, or that kind of thing. And then I've got mystical messages. I love this one, mystical messages. That one you get information and guidance from every single realm. Okay. So that's where you just download from the fairies to the angels, to the elven, to the star friends, it just goes Gaia, like you download messages from each one. So I really love that one. And then the activator grids, which are something I've added. Yeah, they're called activator grids.
I love those activating grids.
They're really, really,
powerful.
Really awesome. Some of you guys might have been familiar with the first three, which are the healthy relationships activator. We have the healing circle. And
so the activator grids, you use them like you would use like a gemstone grid?
Yeah. Well, what you can do with them is you can, like, say you have an altar and you want to put these cards out, and you can lay them out like in a certain array that I have in the guidebook, certain array and suggestions. Then you can add crystals and candles and different things that you want to add to it, depending on the grid. And then you let it sit there and gestate, right? Do its magic, and then let it work. And then you can remove them. That's why I suggest having two of them, because one of them, if you're going to use for oracle readings, you're not going to want to keep moving that away, like breaking down your activator grid to have to use it. So I always suggest, if you're going to do that, then maybe use both. Or for those few that have the first edition Magical Dimensions, you can use that as your grid, and then get the new second edition for your oracle readings or vice versa. So that's kind of the, and so the new ones, let's see, the new grids I have in here is the transmutation grid. Oh, blurry, sorry. The chakra shower activation grid, which is using all the chakra cards and stuff. And then the rainbow bridge of understanding. It's pretty. So I've got a couple of different new layouts in this book and then has all of the descriptions of all of it in here for you. I actually revised one of the cards. So some of you guys remember number 2. I did revise this one. Image itself, I changed it, made it better, I think. And so I actually I used that. And then I also updated, there's 2 cards in here that I did update. The Gaian Awakening. Okay, Gaia got an upgrade, right? So I did the Gaian Awakening where I revised that one, made it a little bit similar, but upgraded. So the magical dimensions too is like always been awesome and everything. But then I had to just create another one, right? So the second edition or second deck that I created that Teresa was holding up some of that, which is the book of the celestial frequencies. And this one, again, the similar thing we got going with the box, although this is the, I would say the masculine counterpart to my magical dimensions, because this is kind of the feminine, right, energy. And we decided to make this to where it's got a masculine, but beautiful energy on it. So this is Ascended Master Hilarion that is on the cover here. And it's my Enlightened Mastery image. And then I also have a same thing where we've got a symbol that cleanses the deck on the inside lid. So we've got a symbol again that clears the deck. If you want to put your, cards in here, same box, but, different design, obviously, and magnetic closure. And it's obviously same kind of box, but different design. So it's got all that stuff on it. And then the same thing with the book. The guidebook is all full color. It's just that it goes a different direction. So you've got more the orientation and full color in here where we've got everything. And again, I have added, unique card spreads and unique activator grids so they're not like, the same, like you're not going to find these, Celtic cross or anything like that in my book, just because there's so much of that out there that you can
see. That's what I love, because I get bored of the same readings. I like to have new ones. So I love that about you.
And it's not like you can't use them that way. You can, but it's, totally different. But this one has some really interesting, I've got this Gaian Awakening or Gaian Activation spread, which are the, just the basic spreads here. But I have one that's called the Cosmic Ladder.
I love that
spread,
one.
which is really great to help you, like, okay, where am I going? And what will, where am I going? Like up on a ladder. So, and this one is really powerful. The Pyramid Builder spread, which I love. This is like in the shape of a pyramid, and it helps you to. This is great for projects or people that you want to add into your industry or you're working with as a company, and you want to get like, where's like the pyramid structure, what's the foundation at the bottom, and then what's going to be happening at the top. And so it's really great for projects, new partnerships, new opportunities, things like that. And then I have the course correction spread, which is really fun.
That's fun. Yeah.
This one's really, really interesting, I think, because it's like you can go along and ask the, it's like you go along and ask if you should, are you on the right path, or do you need to veer off and do something else? And it kind of helps you to course correct, literally. And then I've got the celestial timeline sequencing, which is another really interesting one. Utilizing in this deck has 12 of the galactic beings, and so you choose your galactic friends, whatnot, and you can choose to work with them and help them help you. So it's really powerful there. And then we have this creation spiral spread, which goes in a spiral creation for creative projects again. And then the healing activators are really cool because I've made them in a certain array, like the pillars of light. which is literally like you put something in the center of the column, and then you can actually activate whatever it is or energize whatever that is.
You've made clothing that you can wear that will activate your body then.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. That's what my frequency wear does that as well. And I'm going to be doing some more of that with symbols and different things that I have upcoming eventually. I will be doing that. And then you've got the diamond healer. Everyone likes crystals, right? So this is a little shape of a diamond, right? So the cards are actually in the shape of what I'm doing. This is the diamond healing activator grid in the shape of a double terminated diamond or crystal. Healing Shields activator uses all 7 of the healing shields that I have in the deck, which is like I have 7 healing shields and 7 healing codes. And this helps with the activators for the healing shields, and the sonic harmonizer activator grid, which actually helps with works with the healing codes. And so they're in a certain array as well that's like energy. And so there's just a numerous amount of stuff in here. I'm not going to show all of it, but these are all the different energies.
So where do they come from? Where do you get them from? So does it come from the image first? Like I'm thinking, I know you probably download all this information, but does it start with the downloading of the image, or does it start with the downloading of the spread or a thought, and then you create from there?
The spreads and the grids came after I've already created, the whole thing. So those came as afterwards. Like it was really the images that came first. And then sometimes it's really interesting, my process though, because it's different with all the different ones. It's kind of different. But sometimes they come with just an image that drops in. And then sometimes it comes when I'm in dream time. I wake up and I saw this image, or I saw this place, or this whatever, like behind me, kind of like, oh, I saw that. I had a dream about that. And then I'll create it as best I can with that same recollection of what it was. And then, sometimes I just get prompted by beings that, like in the star realms, or the dragon realms or something like that they just step in and want to be created. And so I just start, and a lot of times I don't even know, like I'm not, I have it all planned out, ahead of time and all that. It's literally like not like that. Like I start going with one little concept or one little image or an idea of something, and then I get into, I'm a digital artist, so I'm using Photoshop and Illustrator, but I get into the program and I literally just kind of, my mouse, is like mouse in hand, sitting in front of my program, and I'm like, man, go. Okay. And I just start like whatever intuitively comes, and I start moving things around and shifting it. And I use like so many different pieces of imagery, in one piece. And then I just start manipulating it until I just get, I'm just like, I feel like I'm just kind of tuned in when I'm doing that all the time. And so it's not like anything specific I have to do. I've kind of learned how to create on command as well. So it's pretty easy for me to create like most of the time, I'd say. And then, you end up with stuff like this, which is the cards. And the only thing I want to point out on the cards is that, because obviously they've all been resurfaced, so that someone asked if you can use both decks. Well, yes, because they all look very similar on the front face with the borders now all look the same. In terms of that, they're just one's a little slight different color than the other one, slight differences, but you can blend them to the two. The backs though are like different, because you've got this really incredible like foil effect on the back. So on the backs of these, it's a little hard to hold both of them, but this is the celestial frequencies with it's like a gold, oops, there they go, a gold foiling effect on the back. And then the magical dimensions has the silver foiling on the back.
What I love about that is those foil colors that you have, they show up on your hands too. When you're sitting there shuffling and you're moving, it's like, where's that light? And I'm looking all over, and then I realize, oh, it's coming off the card. It's like, that's the coolest.
I really this was unexpected to have that, because what initially happened was I was wanting to do the gilded edges, you know, where they have the gilding. Well, that was planned. But what happened was, you know, and this is partially, they said they couldn't do, this is like my publisher who has to deal with all this, you know, when they print and stuff. And yes, you can see the gilded cards, but if you'll notice on most gilded cards, they're not really that thick cards. Okay. The problem with the thick, double laminated cards, which my original deck was, it was double laminated. And I love that because it's very sturdy. They're not bendable really. I mean, they are a little bit, but not like most cards you can bend. So they're very long lasting and very, very, very strong. And you can't, I guess they couldn't do the gilding on that double laminated thick card because it was sticking together so bad. On some of their decks, they had a lot of complaints on it and things. So they didn't want to do that unless I went with a thinner card. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So that's why we decided to do something different on the back, just to make up for that. And I had no idea that it was going to turn out this great. So I mixed mine together so it looks like that, you know. And that's
silver and gold, beautiful.
Yeah.
Silver and gold frequencies that I love working with them, and it's, you know, I like shiny, sparkly things.
Yes.
My name is Lightstar for a reason.
Yeah. So do you now you can purchase directly from your website? That's probably Can we show your website a little bit?
Lightstarcreations.com is my website, and that's
where you want me to put it up here.
We can. Let's
put that up. Let me see. Yeah, there. Just a second. I'm going to put you there.
So this is
Lightstar's. Yep, got it up.
So the home screen is over here. This is lightstarcreations.com. That's where you will come to when you come to my site. It's very beautiful, colorful, I like. And then my artwork is over here under Art Gallery, and that's the gallery. If you want to shop all the stuff that I have, because I have a lot of different things, you just go to the Shop All button, and that will put it into categories for you, so it's a little easier to find stuff, like all my sessions, the classes, the artwork, custom art, apparel, oracle cards, and my music, so it's easier to find for everybody. I always said, somebody said that my website looks like eye candy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely
eye candy colors. And so on my artwork is where you can see all of the different things that I have, which is on this page. Kind of sectioned it out at the moment into like galactic and star code art. And then you scroll down and there's like the multidimensional light code art. And then you have there's my panoramic, the Atlantean libraries. And then we have the healing shields, which are all 7 of those. And then the healing codes, another 7 of those. And then comes all the magical dimensions art. That's kind of most of what's in the magical dimensions, except for I'm adding, that's most of the new stuff too. There's some new cards in there. And there's a couple of the panoramics at the bottom. So that's kind of how it's organized. And there's some of the new, I don't know if you guys wanted me to show you some of the new stuff.
Sure. Let's talk about it anyways and describe it to us, and that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll have to describe it. That's right. So this is I showed you guys the new revision of attachment, which is actually the card, one of the cards I revised. That one just is the dragon image, but attachment. So I just revised that one. Let's see. This is a new one, Duality. That's new in the Magical Dimensions 2nd edition. And it's the dragon energy as well. But we also have the dual kind of battle mode here. So these are like the dueling. It's almost like I don't want to say good versus evil, but in a sense, this is also negotiation. That's one of the words on the bottom of this card, because it's kind of like compromise, negotiation. So there's a lot of things that has a lot of meaning in here, but it's very, very good for male energy, right? Because the male's like this kind of dragon. I had to do something for the males, right? Men out there that like those kind of war battle kind of stuff. This is one that's new, the gateway, which is going through the gateway. And this has Mount Shasta energies, the crystal energy, the Mount Shasta energy. Started out as a custom image for one of my clients and turned into one of my Oracle decks images. Yeah, love this image.
Yeah, I love that, how that happened.
Like Shasta energy has fairy energy, but crystal energy. And I love that image. And we have, this is one of my favorites, the Golden Age, obviously, right?
Yeah, look at that.
Stepping into the Golden Age where we have the golden energies, the golden fountain. We have some dolphins, blue dolphins up here. And just this liquid gold. I just have a fascination with this liquid gold light. And this one I love because it really emulates, the Golden Age. We have lifetimes, which is really talking about, right, past lives and all the different types of experiences we've had in the past lives and the battles to, inventions to, all the different times. And so it kind of has this sort of ancient old world type of feel. I had to add something in here for astrologers or somewhat because I didn't have anything like that, but I added one called lunar eclipse, which obviously shows about the moon and the phases in the lunar eclipse that we go through and some of the energies that we go with letting go, releasing, and that kind of thing here. And then to the counterpart, I'll show you in a minute, which is solar eclipse. Perseverance is also new, lion energy here. And for those, keep going, right? The message is don't give up. I know you might have to take a rest, kind of like now. This one is very poignant for right now. Everybody going through feeling wiped out and just need to take a breather, but, to keep going and get that energy going again. Don't give up, in other words. And then we have shifting frequencies. Totally, like, this is a great one when you're needing to change or shift from a lower to higher frequencies. It's kind of like you go through these different bandwidths of energy. And this helps to remind you to, go take the higher road, shift your energy. Maybe it's from depression to happiness or, those kind of energies that it's emulating about shifting your frequency and the need to shift the frequency as well. And then we have solar eclipse, which is the counterpart to lunar eclipse, and the fire and the Thunderbird here with the sun and the solar energies. And the eclipse cycle of the solar eclipse with all the opportunities or the newness, and also releasing and rebirth and that kind of thing.
So just looking at these cards activate you. Is that true? Like they
I feel they do.
There's energy in them.
I feel they do. They have energies as I'm working on them that come through. The frequencies that come through are really embedded as I work, into the image, into the imagery holographically, because I understand they get printed and all that, but the energy's still there. It still retains. And so it will activate you in different ways. Sometimes it's just an awakening. Sometimes it's just a remembrance. And then other times it's, like something, insights or solutions. It could be anything depending upon what's going on with the person. Because one person could look at, this image and have 4 people could look at it and have 4 different experiences, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
This is one of my favorites for the star seeds out there, right? Star power and reminding you where you come from from the stars, and to also activate you on your mission as well from your star mission. And then I think we have this one, violet flame. The violet flame energy also has some Metatronic energies in here too, but this is about clearing and cleansing as well as having angelic energies. So those are some of the new in the Magical Dimension 2nd edition. And then a lot of I think this one, I don't know if people have seen this one. This is one I was going to put up, was scrolling up here, the Atlantean libraries, which is really a powerful Lemurian, Atlantean, all of this. And this is a perfect example. This one came through my dream time.
Oh, wow.
I actually, as a child, this is not even just recent. This is, as a child, I used to have these dreams of this underwater library and these tunnel systems underneath. And so I know that was coming from, that's actually real. Like, it's not just a dream. And I finally got the chance to create this, to actually create what I was seeing in some way. And, you know, Atlantean libraries, like these libraries underneath the sea. So a lot of things go on underneath the sea that we don't even know, that we don't see. Get it? Underneath the sea. Okay, pun intended. So these are some of the art pieces that I've done. I also have, you know, the shield. All of these 7 shields and 7 healing codes are in the celestial frequencies oracle deck. These are 7 healing codes and healing shields. And this was something a little different because it's more of like the sacred geometry type stuff, but they each have, like, the healing shields each have a different area they work on. Okay. So, and the universal healing shield actually works with all of them and activates all of them. That's kind of your connection to your higher self, or your higher code, or your higher God, you know, whatever you like to call creator God. It's your connection rate to source soul energy. And so that one works with all of them. But then we've got purification healing shield, which works on the physical levels to cleanse, clear, rejuvenate, activate Mother Earth energy. We have the psychic healing shield, obviously the mental realms, working with psychic, and it helps with psychic attacks and things like that too. Like, they really help. This one actually is the one that started it all. I was experiencing psychic attack at one point, which I'd never experienced before.
Really?
And nothing I was trying at the time was working. And then all of a sudden I saw the shield come in and drop into my energy field, and it looked like this. And then that's what started it. It totally worked. It totally took it away. And I started to create it from this. So this whole series started from this psychic healing shield. And then I developed the other ones from the different realms, like this one, the empath healing shield's all about the emotions and boundaries and things of that nature. And then we have astral, which works in the astral energies and in your dream time. And then we have the guardian, which is working with the galactic realms and extraterrestrial contacts, but, you know, removing the bad contacts, bringing in the positive contacts. And we have ascension, which is the, you know, obviously the working with the cosmic realms and the ascension realms and spirit realms. And then the codes are really activating in and of itself as well. These correspond to actual solfeggios. So you actually listen to if you listen to my White Swan 555 and these images right here, they correspond with one another. And when I need to put a package together with those two, but so we have like the 396 hertz frequency, and then you'll have the White Swan 396 hertz frequency music. And so it's like music and art combined together.
Can you download your MP3s right from your website?
Yeah, you can. If you go to my site, they'll have the, like, for instance, if you go to where the shop all music and audio products are, and then you go down to White Swan 555, and then the page will come up to where you can watch the video about it. And there's information about how I created it and all that. And then if you click on it, you can do the bundle one, which has all of them, or you can do them individually. You can purchase them individually as well. And there's little 44-second sample clips on here that you can hear them before you buy. But if you go here and you click on it, then you can just purchase it from my the store shop cart thing, whatever. Store shop cart thing, you know, that.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
You can actually purchase it from there. Once you get that, they're all MP3 files. So you'll get immediately, you'll be able to download after you purchase. And then you can also, you know, you'll get an email with them. So they're all MP3 files that you can listen to. And they're just really cool. They're really powerful. So that's how you would get them. And then if you, scroll down to here really quick again. Where'd they go? Oops, not too far. Here we go. So yeah, they're all frequency codes, and they help activate certain things. Like that one's the, freedom code. I call it the freedom code. We have the cleansing healing code. These align with the chakras. So the first one's going to be the root chakra. This one's going to be connected to the sacral chakra. We have I call it the miracles healing code, and it's a different color than our general third chakra, but this is the color that was coming in for that. Most of the other ones relate to sort of the colors of the chakras, but this one is the one that's like the anomaly. But that one's the 528 hertz. And then we've got your love code, right? The love healing code for the heart, 639, 741 hertz for the throat chakra. And then we have the clarity healing code for the third eye. And then we've got our oneness code for 936 hertz. So these are kind of the newer, things that are in the celestial frequencies. But
wow, that's
so much stuff, right?
Oh yeah, you could spend a few hours going through your website.
Oh yeah, this is like
absorbing all the light and then deciding.
Yeah, that one's a really powerful one. This is a transcending fear. Boy, don't we all need that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's bringing in the golden light too. Just so many different things. And then this is, God, I got to show you these too. These are some new ones. They're not that is not in the Oracle decks yet, because
you'll have to describe them.
Right. So this one is one of my most powerful images, I feel. It's called Dispensation. And this is literally like your Saint Germain image. Okay, your Saint Germain violet flame, but it also has to do with the money magic systems. So we've got a lot of codes and symbols in here that have to do with releasing our stronghold on this dark money magic system that we have going on. Okay, so this is one that has just a ton of symbolism in here.
He looks like he's going to battle.
Yeah, it's
throwing light around.
I want to say it's the warrior. This is also a custom image that I created for somebody, and then they were like all for letting me use it, because it's like it was the Saint Germain connection that I was tuning into, but it was a warrior Saint Germain. Sometimes you see Saint Germain maybe in like a robes and stuff. Well, this was not that. This was like the warrior side or aspect of Saint Germain energy. But the codes are coming in for clearing out and to, reestablishing our own sovereignty in this world. So this is one of the most powerful images of the time. There's a ton of different symbolism in here. You can see there's like the crown and some gold coins. There's this huge key in his hand, which symbolizes we all have the key to this whole, breaking the dark money magic system. We have money breaking down, cracking. There's a lot of things that are going on in that image, but it's one of my most powerful ones. Then this was kind of a newer one since then too, which was the crystalline angelic. Also, another custom image that I was allowed to use here. And that one is bringing in the beautiful angelic energies that are calling forward. And then I have one more, another one. God, I have so many of these. This is another Lemurian image that brings forth the Lemurian. That's encodement, all the beautiful crystalline energies from the Lemurian time frame and the Lemurian codes. And the one I want to show you is what I'm looking for, and I don't know where it is. I'm like, where did I put it? I thought it was in here, but I can't remember where it is because I don't see it. It's the DNA activation one, which I've put on a couple of my, well, there it is. I skipped right over it. This is my evolution custom image that came through for DNA activation, actually. And so that one I love because it's the Arcturian queen, if you will, or, but it's like this activation of the DNA, because that's why you see all the DNA codes in there. And this one took me, oh my gosh, I had to step away from it for a while because as I was creating it, I was getting really activated myself. And so I had to like take breaks and step away, do a little more and step away. It was just really, there's a lot coming in from that image itself. So that's kind of the overview. It's kind of detailed, but a lot of overview of a lot of the different images that I have.
Yeah. Oh, they're just beautiful.
So
They're
many
just,
things.
uh,
So let me come back to you guys. Okay.
there you
So
go.
that's
So I
kind of
want to
it.
ask you about a picture. It's from this book, and it's the last picture. I've fallen in love with this. Who is this?
Oh,
This is beautiful.
well, interesting. That is my my Arcturus Infinity Mind is
Yeah.
where that image is from, and then that particular one, I just took the image or the being out and put it into a different background than what you'd see, because it's
Yeah.
actually this one, which
Because it
is
made
right
it feel like home somehow. You know, and look,
there. It is.
and there she is at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
It's the second
Yeah,
one.
this is the Arcturian energies are just so prevalent for me. It's very, I just love the Arcturian energies, and that one is, but it's almost like it's a really loving, kind of energy that comes through, but they come through really helping to clear the mind space, the mental energies of, and that's what I feel the Arcturians do, is they clear the mental field or help to clear it, because we're so, up here in the mind so much. And that, I just love working with the Arcturians in that. And that's primarily what I work with them to, when I bring through light language, is usually a transmission that does help to clear the field or to clear energies. So they're always coming in to help clear. And I love them. I love all of them, but
Well, yeah.
Can you do just a wee bit of your light language?
Yeah, we were going to do light language activation, so it's probably perfect timing, right?
Okay, yeah.
Might as well do some Arcturians since you mentioned it. Let's bring in some Arcturian here. And again, this is going to just clear the field and the mental space. So it may sound kind of strange to some people, but most people understand what light language is by now. Just put your mind off to the side. Don't even try to figure it out right now. Just kind of open the mind space, literally. Okay. Here. Shinai hein ya song ya ya tum ya kia ni hi sin kia han kia sho no haine kuena ji shin ya na hin so wa han ya na yo me sun hia hi chi shan hi kuen hua ti hin ti su ma yan te ma kimia hin tu shimia dia nya kina so ne yo tu mia na ta sun Wing chi chan I kuyen na isi tutuyen ni oso me shi ite aki ukoyen na sama tisa tane ti suto ushana yo makawayane itsa sadanete sadanata sutsa unchi shana tatumata tata sutsa unchi shoni ana isutia nani unkumiane atai ki so Chayu shum haimi otomai de se hinkia hasumia. Isete sunanata sonaniso o mashio akaeme. Dese tananata tananasa tananiso tonanese unsai shum hasi. Utishu shoni ikamdani site intisa hantushia. Huna miesota imisi hiya shinkai. Ise seo sunanasi. Miso kanini se tarana sat ushan mc atesu. Ukishini otumia tise handi suto yina. Itukayana sa ituisha yina etemia tisia. Osani ate tirianta sana ituta. Uncha chanani te wanana sakumia satumia jiji oso. Unsi shishania yete yanantio onkush. Mitsisi and also unia take me osh. Ditiente te intuianani osh. In Sardina, why you went to say, ma, a gay unto so. Ushamia to way. Kisenti tisunia una sudayense. Utsaisi shishayana, kuyenoma tian tason. Disente terina, una sumaya wachakenia. You can kind of feel that clearing the air a little bit. This is more of a transmission. And also, I feel like the energy of the Arcturians when they come in is related to the Asian world or our Asian friends in that sector of the world. It is very related. I always see these geographical locations of where is more aligned with certain languages, certain languages that I speak. And so if you look at like the whole Asian community or the whole, Asian world, really from China, Japan, the Philippines, like it could be all of that. It just feels like it's connected to all of that energy. And so, yeah, it's, I love the Arcturian energies. They just come in, and it's not so much like the heart space, although they work from the higher heart, but they work in the mind space a lot,
It felt a lot like a heart clearing, but tingling from the back, like at the back of a heart clearing. Like
it can happen for anybody, and that's why I always say everyone's going to get something different from it, depending on whoever's listening, whoever's, where you're at and not everybody gets activated by every single language either. I mean, that's why I have so many of them too, because I've had so many times where someone was like, yeah, that one didn't really do much, but this other one, oh my God, so it's everybody's different and unique. I mean, that's not why I have so many languages. I don't do it for that purpose. I just have noticed that over the past, decade and a half of doing this kind of work and bringing it forth. I have noticed in my session work, that happens where some people will just be like way more activated by one language and not as much on another, or not at all on another, or really repelled by one language.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a very interesting phenomenon that happens to me. And I had no idea why initially, but then I started to understand why that's happening. And it was very fascinating to me that as I got into it and started looking into this, and some of it happened when I was looking into client work, or, like, why am I so angry when I hear Pleiadian like that? Okay. It was like, why would you feel that? Right. And so as I went into this a little bit, I started to realize that some people, as are all of our different aspects, right? We've got all these different aspects of us. And in those different aspects, we have these different experiences, just like we do here. And we might have a riff with a person here, right? We might have a beef or a riff, like I say, difficulty with somebody here. Well, you may, as a Pleiadian, or as another, could be Arcturian, could be, any other type of race that you are as that other aspect. You could have had an altercation with a Pleiadian, or you could have had some bad things happen, and so to speak, that you put a bad taste in your mouth from that. So then every time you hear that, maybe language, that kind of energy, you're just like, ugh, and these are some of these karmic clearings that we have to, it actually helps to bring that to the surface, is what I found. Wow. Because some people don't even know that they have that. And then when they brought it to the surface, I go like, oh, I get it. And it was fascinating to see that, to see the healing that can happen from these karmic resolutions that happen in the quantum realms, these quantum, resolutions of karma, or different healing experiences that we can have with races that we didn't even know we had karma with in this consciousness. That is, we know we have them, but we don't really know what it is. It just comes up. So light language can surface the positive and beautiful feelings, as well as some heavier stuff that can come, that just need to come to the surface to have a little, healing on, or to experience it. But for the most part, those do happen, and they are there. And yet I see most of the times people are just getting awakened by it, and they're feeling like a sense of home, or a sense of longing for home, but this feeling of, oh my God, that makes me feel like I'm home, those that are starseed, especially that are missing home from some of these star languages, they will feel more connected to home. And a lot of times it opens up for people to have their own experiences and to speak their own language. I look at myself as one of the bridges that brought light language to its fruition here on the planet. I have to say that when I started doing this, I didn't know a whole heck of a lot of people that were doing it. I really didn't. I didn't come across it. I'm sure there was people out there doing it before me. I'm not saying I was the only one, but I didn't see it a lot. And then now it's like all over, all over the internet. And I don't know if it's just that, I help to activate some of those people to now do their own and speak their own languages along with some of the other bridges, the other people out there that are doing this and have been doing this, from some of the people I know, like Shakara Tosha to Shakina Rose, these are some of the people I know here, Jamie Price, these are all people who stepped into this arena, and either around before or around the same time that I did. And we're in this wave of like activation for people to get a little more familiar with it. And we all do it in a different way. We all have a different stream of it. I just tend to have a lot of different types of not just star language, but, stuff from the angelics and the elementals and fairies and all that, and different realms that I am, because like behind me, this is like a magical realm, right? And this is one of the realms that I play in. And so there's like a lot of different things and a lot of different beings that I connect with. And, I said it on one of my classes I was talking about, that I see myself as a cross between Deanna Troi and Lieutenant Uhura from Star Trek, because in the realm of intuitive, empathic, bringing that through. And then also the language is a linguistics, except for she's doing it a little differently, but it's similar in that way. And that's one of the roles that I play to literally bring that here. And I feel that we're going into a different realm in the future, or our future. It's all happening at the same time, I know, but in our timeline here, we're supposed to have opened up to light language, because it's activating us on different levels. It's bringing in different light codes. It's bringing in creation codes for us, and to learn to not dilute these things, but to bring them in from their original form, from the straight through creator, divine soul energies, to bring that energy through and not dilute it. And I feel that in our future, that we will somehow be going by energy frequency more than like your name or what you do. And I feel like, because I start to see these codes above people's heads all the time. I do it in session work. I'm doing it when I create. And when I started seeing this, I realized we are the code. Okay. It's above our head. And we're trying to, some of these energy packets that we have to download and integrate. And that's one of my custom image, my energy signature light code art actually helps that, to bring the code that's sitting up there down into your energy field. But we are the code, and we are energetically, when we align ourselves with the code, we realize that we are a full matrix of codes, and that's who we are. That's what we're made up of. That's really what the matrix is made up of,
right?
Is the codes that we are. And so I feel like we may be going by, I already know some people. For instance, I was teaching this class, the Starseed expansion class, and one of the girls that was, it was Noko. She's such a sweetheart. She was kind of running it with Indigo Angel. And she just initially came out with she has a certain sound that she brings forth that is her sound. It's like her frequency. And she makes a sound, and that's what it is. It's almost like it's also, if you think about mermaid, what would a mermaid, if you've ever seen that show, oh God, what's that movie it was Tom Hanks and Daryl Hannah? Splash. Yes. I remember when he's like, "What's your name?" And she's all, it was like this loud noise. He's like, okay, maybe not too loud. So, but that's really where, that's what I feel like what we are going towards. So it may not be, your name's not Teresa, your name's not Rhonda. You are named that by your parents, but is that really truly your name? Not really. I mean, that's why I go with Lightstar, because that, when I came through, that's actually one of my aspects of my name. Wow. And it fits me more. So I wanted to go with that. But, that's why we see people changing their name so much when they get older, not just because they get married and their last name, but changing their name because they want to go by their original frequency, or they're more in alignment of their frequency. It doesn't mean that you have to do that. But I do feel that part of light language, this bridge that I've been, hanging, holding out my hand, come on over, the bridge, like literally doing that for people was to help them to see that they're more than what you think you are. Like everybody, you're more than who you think you are to this moment. We're just this bodysuit is just the limit. It's the limitation of who we are. We know this when we cross over, we know this, we don't die. I mean, our physical body goes, but our soul goes on and on and on and on. We don't ever, we don't extinguish in that way. So we have longevity. It's just longevity of the soul, not necessarily longevity of the physical body.
Which sometimes is a blessing in itself.
Yeah.
Although I think we were supposed to live for a lot longer than we are. So we're supposed to be in these bodysuits for a lot longer. We've had a lot of manipulation from tinkering with the DNA that shuts it off. Like, have you guys noticed that you get around, I don't know, an age 40 or something, and then all of a sudden things just start going crazy at a certain age. It's like this ticking time bomb that goes off, and it's almost like it was planned. Every decade, I've noticed this. Every decade it gets a little weaker. This gets a little weaker. That gets a little, and there's things that happen. And so, but it was never, our DNA is not meant to do that. Our DNA. That's why I focus a lot on the DNA activation and clearing and cleansing, because we're meant to last longer than we do. We truly are. That's the positive side of all the things that are happening, is that we are meant to live longer, and we are meant to have our DNA strands not tinkered with, but to be cleared and cleansed. So I don't know if we're going to get it all, like we're going to live 500 years and, in 50 years time. I don't know, but I do know that this wasn't the original blueprint. Our original blueprint is way longer and much more advanced with our so we don't start breaking down. The body doesn't start breaking down so early. And I think some of the Asian masters have gotten this figured out. As you look at Asian masters and their 90s, 100s, and they're just 30 years old, or 50 years old maybe, like they know what they're doing. And a lot of it is energy. But at the same token, if we look at our lifestyles that we live, we're in constant stress all the time, in the Western world particularly, constant stress, always having to, just fighting for just, I don't know, like we're in survival mode. And that causes tons of stress for all of us. And so the more stress we have, the more that breaks down our bodies as well. But to say to somebody, oh, just, don't stress. It's like,
calm down. Yeah. I'm not calm. I'm already calm.
It doesn't, if you're living in this world and you're trying to make a living here, you are in the midst of stress all the time. I think it really depends on how you handle it. Man, that's a whole different thing. Like, how are you handling the stress? Are you managing that, all of the stresses that come up, because there's stresses that come up all the time. And then how are you adapting to it? How's your ability to adapt to change? And that's a huge one for everybody, right? Like, not a lot of people are very good at adapting to change. And especially in the last couple of years, where it's just been this whirlwind of change every day. And I feel like we're in fight or flight mode every single day. And that is not healthy for your adrenal glands for one, but it also breaks down, the structure and the blueprint, and so, I know we talked about a lot of different topics there, but it's all related.
I think it is. I think it's totally related. Lightstar, we have usually a few questions at the end for our guests. You've told us where we can find you, and all your links are in the description for the video. So can you maybe tell us what your theme song is right now?
My theme song.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I would say, I don't know the name of the singer though, but it's this beautiful song that my partner and I have this song that we love together, and it's I wish I could remember her name right now, but we have a kind of a theme song that's for the two of us, or just our thing. And it's the lyrics are, I will love you for 1,000 years, and I will love you for 1,000 more. And that's kind of our little thing. But I can't remember who sings that. I'm just like spacing
Somebody
out.
remember? I know the song you're talking about.
Like, I will love you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. And
anybody in the audience?
Someone will know. I don't know who sings it, but it's one of our favorite songs right now. Just kind of is sort of a loving for a lifetime and for another 1,000 lives or something. But I would say some of the music I've been listening to lately though has been a little more on the subdued side. It's not with lyrics, it's more energy and more activation. That's what I've been into because I was creating the White Swan. And so, so I think that I don't really necessarily have a favorite song at the moment. It's more of just energy music, that don't have words to it. I don't know. For some reason, I've just been like, besides that one theme song that we do have, I feel like
Christina Perry.
Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I know I can't remember who it was. It's really it's such a cool song. And the other song that I can't remember, there's a guy out there who sings it. He's a rapper. I don't really like rap music necessarily, but this guy's like, his rap music is always about changing the world, and he's doing a lot of positive stuff. So occasionally I'll hear songs that I like that, but I go through phases. I don't know if you guys do. I go through phases of music where I kind of say, like right now, it's like I want to just hear peaceful music. Like I've been watching on YouTube, they have these channels, and at some point I'm going to freaking figure out how to do that myself because I want to do that with my artwork. But they have these beautiful images up that are like animated, and then in the background it's just like this waterfall with birds in the background and chirping and music, and then there's chimes, and like that's the kind of stuff where I'm telling you, talking about stress-free, I listen to it every night before I'm kind of winding down. It's like that sleep music, but it's so peaceful and so relaxing that I feel like that's what I feel is important for me right now, is getting as much of that as possible instead of like a lot of the words and music, that we listen to. So I'm just going through a phase of wanting that relaxing waterfall. I just imagine myself being in a spa, just laying there, or being my feet in the sand on the beach, or, even if you're not, it's funny because if you're not there, like if you're not at the beach, but if you watch the beach and you hear the sounds and you close your eyes and you imagine yourself, it's like you're there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you get the same effect, even if you aren't really there, except for.
I think it really hits us on a deep DNA level. I think we're connected to those sounds, and the same with bird sound. It's like you're connected to that sound because in our ancient DNA, it always said everything's okay. There's no predators out to get you. We can hear all the sounds.
Yeah, there's something that does to our whole body. And I sometimes go out. We have this almost like this bird atrium in our courtyard here, and I just sometimes just go out and that's all I want to hear is the birds. Just want to hear the birds. I said, if I can live someplace that has bird sounds, if I can't, I don't want to live there because I want to hear the birds. So yeah, interesting. it does really change us and flushes out all the toxic stuff we get throughout the day. So, I'm going through a phase of that, but I hope the phase remains because I actually like it right now. So
that's awesome. Do you have a favorite crystal you're working with?
I usually have my guardian stones, that's what I call my guardian stones, the blue obsidian I showed one time, but lately I've been really gravitating towards the golden healer quartz. And working with golden healer quartz, mostly because I think the golden frequencies are really in my field a lot. And I've been really, especially the last 2 years, I've really been feeling this golden light and working with liquid golden light and bringing that through. So I showed the golden age and certain images that I'm creating that have gold energy. But I like the golden healer quartz because it's very healing. It's a quartz, but it has that frequency of the gold energy. And so that's the one I've been working with a bit more and gravitating towards it. I have this little tiny one that looks like Superman's castle because it's like a bunch of like that, but it has this gold hue in the middle. And been really, really loving that one for the moment because I switched. I was working with the guardian stones for a while, and now I'm like, okay, I'm gravitating towards my healer.
Just lately, have you seen any UFOs? I mean, we know you have extra dimensional people coming in, that's so obvious. So
yeah, it's funny because now we see UFO stuff on the news now, where we didn't say that before, and now all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, UFOs are real." We're all like, "Really? Yeah. Okay."
So I can put mine
seriously. But I'd say that the one that I'm working on, this dovetails into what I am working on image-wise currently, is the Guardians have been in my realm a lot. But the Guardians, to me, I was talking about the Guardians before I even heard anybody else talking about the Guardians. The Guardians came in, so I know it's real, but I just have a different take on it. But the Guardians to me is it's a multi-race, conglomeration, I would say, or more like that kind of thing. They're different races that are, maybe more in a group being together for a certain cause. But the ones that I've been working with mostly have been the ones tied to the earth or connected to the earth. So earth guardians, and even more specifically, more on the divine feminine side, I've been connecting and working more with these guardians that are helping me create a new series of images that are going to be related to the seasons. Okay, so winter, spring, summer, and fall. And these are coming through. It's going to be a little different for you guys that are used to things like this, where my images are all detailed and there's a lot going on in there. This is going to be more like portrait style, where it's up close, bust up of winter, spring, summer, and fall female energies. Wow. And I've been really guided towards that and working with, like I said, some of the guardians of the planet here on the earth that are more in the divine feminine energies. And I think it's going to be, personally, I feel like these are my masterpieces coming forth. This is some of the stuff that I'm most excited about. I don't know. So I'm excited about that. So they've been really helping me to shift it. It's like, how we're all off spirit or off planet so much, but yet I'm bringing it down. I'm bringing it home, literally.
Oh, great.
Bringing it home to earth. And I think people will resonate with the imagery of the beautiful women that I'm bringing forth. It's just like, oh, I'm so, each one of them just like, oh, I want to be her,
Wow.
So I'm excited. They're just emerging from here and Gaia personified in these images. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I think Gaia needs a lot more face time.
Yes.
Literally. I guess. Thank you so much for being on today. Teresa, thank you for bringing Lightstar on. You're always so great.
Yeah,
and we're always in touch with your cards because Teresa does bring them through to us personally a lot of times. and she shares them with us, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
So,
and thank you, Teresa, for being such a great support of my work. I so appreciate that. And I really, really, you're such a sweet soul. Both of you guys, all of you guys. We're missing the third team
Bex,
member
yeah.
here,
Yeah,
Bex,
Bex.
but I just love all of you guys. I love being, connected and just communicating and talking and sharing with you guys about everything. So I really appreciate the opportunity once again to be here. And, also want to just say thank you to everybody that's going to be watching this, on replays and all that. I love you guys. Stay strong. We're in it to win it here. So, it's like, don't give up, keep going, don't give up, and put some inspiration in your life, with all the creative work out there. I want you guys to create, do some fun stuff, and stop getting into the heaviness and the density, and more into the lightness and fun, so that you can, breathe here and expand your energy. So
be what you want to see in the world.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you in a moment. We're just going to say goodbye. Bye, guys. See you next week for our summer solstice update with Katie Steinman. So that'll be one not to miss as well. So thanks, guys. See you later.
Thank you.
Namaste.